All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for episode 2 on Mindset Domination. We got Coach Meredith, and I'm Coach Matt. What's up, Meredith? How are you doing
What
today?
is up? It's been a day.
It has, yo. So we have a great topic for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up on the screen right now. It's kind of crazy because right now we're going to dive into this episode, and Coach Meredith has had, some things going on, and it's crazy how life can get for all of us. So we're very excited to talk about this because not only is it going to be educational or beneficial for people watching or listening, but it's also going to feel good for both of us, Meredith and I, to talk about these things and, get it off our chest and get it out there. So, girl, are you ready to do this thing or what?
I'm ready.
So
ready.
tell them what's going on, girl. What's up with why did, because this is basically Meredith's topic. Meredith brought this topic up and she wanted to talk about it. So what made you want to bring this topic up?
So it's just, I know everyone can relate to this. Like it could be a day, it could be a moment, it could be a week where you just feel like the universe, whatever you believe in is just testing every ounce of your being. It's one of those things where I have to remind myself, like, you can only do so much, and you can't let it overwhelm you, and you can't let it affect your entire day. And you have to, because if you do, like, and I know a lot of people do this, like I even talk with my clients, I'm like, you need to start practicing, like, hey, like, it's the moment, do what you can, just don't let it ruin your entire day. Don't affect your family or friends. And I have to remind that myself. And honestly, like the past couple of days, like really until me and Matt started talking, it kind of made me reflect a little bit more on myself. Like, I really do need to start practicing. Because I have been letting, life get to me and stress me out, like dealing with a sick kid right now, especially in these times. Granted, he has a cold, but still, it's just, there's certain things that you don't want to deal with. And it stresses me out. I know it stresses other parents out, and it's just not fun. So,
dude, it's not. Yeah, I can only imagine. It's funny because I'm new to the parenthood, so like I'm trying to balance everything and figure out my kid and try to be there for my girlfriend as well, and like my business, and try to balance everything. And going through moments like that is like, it's fun, all right, and it's hard to get into that emotion of fun because you're so stressed out and you're so like worried and you don't know what's going to happen, and the mysteries of life like really get your stress levels really high. But just like you said, whenever you live in the moment, because once 2, 4, 5 months passes by, I'm going to think like, wow, I wish I would have really lived in those simple moments of those first 2 months of my son and stuff, even though he's always crying or he's hungry and this and that, and he's keeping us up at night. To cherish those moments is always great. And especially coming from you and I, we are so heavy into fitness and health and helping people and helping ourselves, making sure that we're healthy, and the cool thing about what we do here, in Mindset Domination is like, yes, we might seem as we're like the super fit people, or we know how to train and eat and do all this amazing stuff with our body, but we go through the same life stuff as anybody else watching. It's just having that mindset switch to really go in and dive into the goals that you want for yourself. So dealing with stressful moments to create positive outcomes is a sweet ass topic to talk about. And I'm so excited that you brought it up, girl.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is I think people even look like you and me and they're like, they're always happy. It's like, no, we're not. It's not how it works. Like we choose to be happy, because with everything else going on in our life, like that's another thing too, is like either you can be miserable in the moment and just let it completely consume you, or like you can even pretend to be happy in a terrible moment. I think, well, one thing I guess I've gotten really good at too is even if life does throw something at me that I can't control, like I don't really necessarily let it consume me too much. And I still I'm like, okay, well, I can turn this around and have it be a positive thing. It doesn't have to be negative. Is it making my life harder? Yeah. But like, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world either. It's just a little bump in the road, you just got to get over it and keep moving.
That's it. Yeah. It's crazy when these things keep coming, because it's just like repetitions or, sets, or doing a workout that was once hard, but now it's easy. Like, you're going to have to build a callus for these things. You're going to have to learn how you react to these things. You're going to have to learn force your body to adapt to certain situations so that you understand them more. That's why people have written books. That's why we have history books. That's why we've gone through history, because throughout all these years, we've learned so much to make today a little bit easier. But, the whole internal clock, your mindset, emotions, the way you feel, all these things, especially with all the crap that's been going on in 2020, it's really important to not like completely eliminate everything around you, but to really isolate with inside yourself and figure out who you are and what you're doing. And just like Meredith said, live in the moment, man. That's freaking crucial stuff right there. So, Meredith came up with basically all these bulletins. And I'm super excited for this first one, because this first one can seriously jack someone up. Like your whole day could just be thrown out the window. So let's go ahead and let's talk about morning disasters, Meredith.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, for example, this morning, like, I woke up late, right? And I was going to send Caden to school, and we were late anyways, but Caden still had a cough. And I'm like, like, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to keep him home from school one more day. Right. So he's home from school one more day. And hopefully tomorrow he'll be 100%. But I still woke up late, and instead of letting it affect my entire day, I told myself, like, okay, I'm going to control what I can control. And I did. And I took complete, control over my morning. And was I in the best mood? No. And then I went to my best friend's because she needs help because she's trying to start her own business and all that good stuff. So, I'm trying to help her out too, because she's stressed and she has stuff that's completely out of control in her life. And it's funny because I literally had this conversation with her this morning, and I told her, I was like, you need to practice being more present, because she doesn't like the job she has right now. And it's not a bad job. She's at that point in her life where she wants to excel, and she just wants to go up and do her own thing and everything.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I told her, and I was like, well, listen, what you're doing is you're causing yourself so much anxiety and so much distress because you are so thinking ahead, and you're not thinking right now and controlling what you can control. And me talking to her, I'm like, dang, I was like, I have not been really even been aware of that myself, and it made me actually want to be more aware of it, and, get back to my present self, and get back to, just, because I mean, for example, like we said, like a flat tire, if you have a flat tire first thing in the morning, right? No one wants to deal with that before they go to work. Okay.
Dude.
So, I mean, that happens when people get so distressed, and then they let it ruin their entire day. Well, the thing about a flat tire is most cars have a spare. So just put the spare on, get to work, do what you have to at work, come back home, and then, and the thing is you can drive around in a spare for a little bit. So if you can't get to go get your tire fixed right away, just don't let it consume you, because there's always a loophole through everything. But people, I don't know if it's maybe our generation, or maybe that we're so used to, I mean, it could be because we're so used to getting everything like Amazon Prime, it says it's 2 days and then it shows up a couple hours later. You know what I'm saying? So it almost instant gratification, but really that's not how the world works, and that's not how reality works. So you need to take a step back, analyze the situation, do what you can in the situation, and then just handle it as you go, and just take it as and it's an experience. It doesn't have to be a negative one, because then if this happens again, then you can be like, well, last time, because I handled it in such a good way, it's really not that stressful, Yes. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And it's, we bring up morning disasters because it's the morning is so important. Okay, for me personally, and a lot of other amazing people I've met, I've talked to, especially Meredith, dominating your morning is crucial. Why? Because you wake up, you just woken up. Okay, so you need to have your heart and all your breath and everything goes nice and smooth, so you can go to work and do what you got to do in a nice, calm manner and dominate every second, every day. But sometimes life doesn't come like that, right? Sometimes things happen and you're going to have to react. And those are also the beautiful things, is when things don't go your way, because now you have to react. Like, I've been training for this day, right? I'm ready for this day. So whatever comes my way, I'm going to do what I can to make sure that I create the outcomes that I want to create for myself, even though you might not have control over, the tire itself and it blowing on the highway or whatever else that happens. You can control how you feel. You can control how the reaction is next. You can control those simple things, how it affects who you are. At the end of the day, it's just a car, and good thing that you are still safe and you're healthy, The morning is also something that is obviously the first thing for your whole day. So going to fitness and health and how it can relate to that is whenever you are having a bad day, right? And you are a stressful eater or an emotional eater or someone that is really easy to quit, this one simple text you get from somebody or this one simple picture that you see of somebody else getting progress faster than you ruins your morning, which then ruins your day, which then ruins the drive for you to go to the gym after work or finish your meals that you've prepped, all because you're watching somebody else that's been in it for 3, 5, 10 years, and this is only your first week, but you're fragile, right? We're fragile in those moments. So when things happen like that, you tend to throw yourself back. You tend to put yourself down. And that's what we don't want to happen, right? Because morning disasters are going to come. Evening disasters are going to come. Afternoon, a disaster can happen right now in the middle of the night. Any time of the day, something can happen. And the better you are prepared inside yourself, the better you're going to go through that specific situation for sure.
Exactly. And like, even for example, like, let's say you're just going through a traumatic time or an emotional time, let's say in a relationship, right? And your go-to is emotional eating, right? And so that like triggers it. And all you want to do is eat. All you want to do is put unhealthy food in your body. Like you've lost 20 pounds already, and you're just on your way, but like you just don't care because you're totally your emotions are getting the best of you. And that's the thing too, is people need to understand you have to control your emotions. You have to take a deep breath. You have to be like, okay, like I have kicked butt for the past 3 months. I lost 20 pounds. I look and I feel the best that I've ever had. Am I really going to let someone push their toxic negative emotions on me and have that affect me and backtrack me because I want to overeat and gratify myself with something that tastes good? But I know as soon as I start eating more, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to start gaining weight again, all those things. It's not worth it. Like I've had clients and I've had experiences where I'm like, literally like told them like, take off your shoes, go stick your feet in the grass. And it's funny because they'll call me like instantly later and they're like, I had like the same shock of body and I feel so much better. Like I got my panic attack under control. But the thing is too, is like, we forget that we're so connected to the world and so connected to the universe that like, you have to, I mean, it sounds so hippie, but I mean, it's so true. Like, and it's so, and people forget like, it's one of those things where you have to, or like just completely lay on your carpet on your floor, just lay down and just focus on your breathing, really get your emotions under control. And like almost like completely any thought that comes, it's like meditating, any thought that comes in your head, flush it out, think of your breathing, focus on your breathing and calm yourself down. And because once you have your thoughts calm and your emotions calm, you're not going to react to anything anymore. You're even going to process the negative thing that's happening to you or emotion that's coming over you and be like, okay, well, if I ate, I would have been so mad at myself, because then it's just one of those things you have, like, that is something you can control. You can control you can control your thoughts, your emotions, the food that you put in your body, like exercising, you know what I mean? Like even just simply going for a walk instead of going to the gym, you don't have to lift. Just go for a walk outside, get some vitamin D, even if it's raining, like literally like feel the rain hit your face. Yeah. It's those little things can help and change your mood instantly. And I tell my clients all, everyone's like, well, it's cold out. I'm like, yeah, it's cold, but like it actually feels good. like I mean, you tell yourself it's cold and you don't like the cold, you don't like it. But like if you just go out and you appreciate the crisp air and like the fact that you're breathing fresh air and the sun's out, it might not even be out, but the clouds are pretty, like you can hear birds, like just little things that just make you present. It just helps so much in the moment. And that's what you can control. Like you can't control a flat tire, you can't control someone thinking a different way because they have a different perspective. It's you can only control yourself. And this is where I think, because even coming from me personally, I am triggered emotionally by eating. Like I eat emotionally, or I used to. So like if someone said something that I didn't like and I just couldn't stop thinking about it, I would just like stuff my face. And then I would be so mad at myself. And then I would pretty much punish myself by doing extra cardio, by going to the gym longer, by not eating for hours instead of like, I probably should have been eating something healthy to flush all the crap out of my system, So, things like that. And I look back at how I used to be and I wish I knew these things, younger, because I would have handled everything so much better. And my weight would have been so up and down all the time, and I mean, it's just one of those things, like you control what you can control and that's it. Like you can't control everything that's going on right now. It's chaotic. It's insane. I can't even, I wonder what, I control how much screen time I put on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I check it. I see how my friends are doing. I make a post. Honestly, I barely have been commenting back, and I feel bad, but like, I can't be on my phone that much because there's so much toxic energy coming out at me, and I'm an empath. I can't deal with that. So I have to set those healthy boundaries for myself, or it's just not going to be healthy for me.
Yeah, exactly. See, with everything you just said right now, especially towards the end, some people are going to view like setting alarms. If someone sees you and they're like, oh, wow, Meredith sets alarms every 2 hours just to take, 5 minutes to just breathe. Like, that's kind of obsessive, but it's not, because Meredith is controlling what she can control. If somebody can mentally have that timer inside their head naturally, then you have controlled what you could control. So everybody has their own controller that they have. Okay. So if you specifically, well, now watching or listening, if your thing is emotional eating, then what triggers it. It's emotional eating. So something that emotionally happens to you tends to push you towards eating until you feel happier, or until you feel so much in crap that now you have to overdo cardio, overtrain, or whatever the case may be. Then you have that to take control over. Some people are fine. They take punches and hits all the time, and they hold it inside, and they're able to deal with that, to decompress that when they get home, because they have controlled what they can control. Everybody's level and tolerances are a lot different. Whenever I was in the military, when I first left home, there's a lot of stuff happening in my life, and I needed to learn how to take control of what I could control. And in the gym, I only went for pain, like that sensation you feel, the burn in your muscles, the exhaustion you feel, and your heart pounding so hard, and your breath, and that burn you feel whenever you're running. Like, those things is what I strived for, because I wanted to feel something. I felt so empty, cold inside. But that pain that I got in the gym it sparked something. It made me create life inside me. So I was trying to find my way to gain the control of what I had control over. But I knew one thing for sure, is that no matter if I didn't have a car, and even if there was 5 feet of snow outside, I'm going to walk through that snow. I'm going to enjoy this snow. I'm going to enjoy the view and the walk to get there, and just be grateful that I can even walk to the gym. Yeah. Like, I have an opportunity to go to a gym. Like, and after the gym, guess what? I'm going to eat. So I have opportunities there to take care of myself, my health. And a lot of people out there don't have those things. So just like how you've been saying, the instant gratification, we overlook those things because we have the luxury of having that. And whenever that luxury is there, we forget about where we were before. So controlling what you can control is something that took me a long time, and I'm still trying to, really dial into every single thing that I have control over. And same thing with, I'm pretty sure you too, Meredith, but it's like, once you understand, once you read this right now, control what you can control, and you hear us say it, now hey, whenever something else comes your way, what in this specific situation do I have control over? Because number one, you will always have control over how you feel. That's one thing. And the outcome of how you react next is going to be in your control as well. So that's one thing for sure you will always have control over. No one tells you and says, hey, I want you to be sad today. No, you make that for yourself. So there's other things externally that you don't have power over, but you do have power over yourself. So having control of what you have control over is so powerful. And even if this whole talk of me and Meredith here in this episode, just take that away alone. Like, control what you have control over.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take away something too that you just said. You just said that you're just basically grateful that you can walk and you can go to the gym and you have access to things, and you're grateful for just having a warm meal in your belly. One thing to forget too is, like, when you are being present, like, express gratitude, like, be grateful that, like, you even have a car that can have a flat tire, like, you know what I mean? Like,
so that's crazy.
But a lot of people are like, why me? Like what we're about to talk about is like, but that whole mentality, like, why is this happening to me? Be like, instead of thinking, why me? What lesson? First off, take a deep breath and be grateful that you have a car to get to work. Be grateful that you have a roof over your head. Be grateful that we have running sewage and water, because I've been to countries that have that and the streets smell like crap. You know what I mean? And kids are running around playing in it and they have no idea. So it's like little things like that, like expressing gratitude and controlling what you can control. And you can control your gratitude and your thought process and like what you know, the things that you have in life, like you don't need a lot. I'm a minimalist. But I know people that just like love fancy things and nice things and want to know what, like I love them for that because that's who they are and that's what they love. But like, I mean, minimalist, like I don't even have a spaghetti strainer because I don't feel like I need one because I just use the lid. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like that's how I think. And
That's
I know some
gangster.
people, I know, but like some of my friends are like, you don't even have a spaghetti strainer. I'm like, no, because I have space and I can just use the lid to drain the water out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's
You
how
need to
I
teach me how to do that.
I mean, maybe I'll do a tutorial on it. But like, but that's how I think. And that's my thought process. But like, I'm very grateful. Like, I mean, I've been homeless. Like I've slept on friends' couches since I was 17 years old. Like I didn't have the best parents, you know, but I'm so grateful for all those experiences because it really has taught me, you know, I did have that why me victim mentality for a long time, you know, and then for some reason, like pretty much during quarantine, like I really started focusing on it and switching it. And instead of having the why me, why is this happening to me? I started controlling what I could control. I could control the food I was putting in my body. I could control my exercises. I could control, you know, the screen time that I allow myself or my son, the type of screen time, you know, everything, like everything that I could physically control or even just like internally control. Once I took control of that, my victim mentality went away. There's no more why me. And I take these lessons, like even this week, it hasn't been the best week, but I'm constantly okay, like, okay, Meredith, instead of getting upset and ruining your whole day, what can we learn from this experience to make sure, one, it doesn't happen again, or if it does happen again, I can control it in a way that doesn't cause me anxiety or stress me out, or let it affect my child's life, my friend's life, my family's life, you know? So, and that, like, it's a ripple effect. Like, like you can, an act of kindness has a ripple effect, but so does a negative, you know, moment.
Absolutely.
Like one main thing, like you have no idea. You could say something to someone just because you're having a bad day and they were having a great day and you ruin it for them. You know what I mean? And they have so much great things, and all they wanted was someone to just listen and be there for them. And like, and you know, sometimes you have to just take a step back and be like, hey, am I being an a-hole, or like, am I really like going to take my emotions where they're negative and not project them onto other people, because that's not their problem, that's my problem. Right. You know, and this is where you know, toxic, this is where a lot of behavior, why a lot of families or people can't get out of toxic situations is because they constantly repeating it over and over again. And repeating it is not fixing it, you know, and that's the why me mentality. Like, I mean, I've dealt with people multiple times and I've been there too. And like something bad would happen to me. And I'm always like, why me? And something else bad would happen to me. Like, why me? And then it would just go over and over and over again. And my life is literally like this when I want it to go like this. But the reason it's staying stagnant and parallel is because I'm repeating the same crappy behavior, the same crappy thoughts, you know, nothing is changing. And I mean, it's like manifesting and visualization. If you want something, you have to keep working towards it, but you have to practice being present. You have to practice, you know, things are going to progress you to the next level, you know, and understand that like you could be going up like this, or you could be going up like this. It just depends on what cards you were dealt, honestly, and how you deal with the situations.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. This right here, why me? I got one big thing to say, and it's just the taking the setbacks and turning them into lessons. Like, that was the biggest thing for me to do, especially as, you know, getting kicked out of my home at 18 and then living on my own, and then try to find my way through with friends opening up their homes and giving me a place to stay, and then going into the military, and then getting out, and then growing a business, feeling alone as a coach, feeling alone as a veteran, feeling alone as all this stuff. Right. And there's plenty of times where I was like, why me? You know, my dad left when I was a little kid, and I always ask, why me? Like, why? Is there something wrong with me? Maybe everybody views me just like how he views me, you know? So I always had that mentality for a long, long, long time. But then it came to a point to where I was extremely independent and I was doing things on my own. And, you know, I now have an amazing family that I've created. And now it's like, what can I find in this situation instead of just blaming myself? Because obviously And in reality, everything's your fault. Everything is you have created the outcomes for whatever it is. So it's always going to be you. So you already answered your question. Why me? Well, because it's you. That's it. Yep. So taking the lessons of any failures, setbacks, roadblocks, anything that you apply to yourself, instead of saying, why me, take the failures or whatever negativity is around you and find the lessons within inside of them and learn from it, and then make that a strength of yours, so that whenever anything else comes around, you are gradually improving yourself, just like Meredith said. Even if you're slowly increasing in your mentality strength or mental strength or whatever it is, slow progress is still progress. All right. And learning is beautiful, especially when you learn from yourself. So that's a huge thing that has helped me, is actually taking these setbacks and learning from them to gain improvement.
Yeah, exactly. And that's perfectly said. And like, I mean, we can relate, like we've been on our own at a very young age. And, for the longest time too, like I would always talk about my past or reflect on my past and be like, well, I'm doing this because of my past. I'm doing this because I had a bad dad. I'm doing this because I have daddy issues, like little things like that. You know what I mean? But like, no, the reason all that was happening to me is because I had that mentality. My dad has nothing to do with my success today or failures. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he probably had more to do with my failures because I had that mentality. But like, it's one of those things where if I just like woke up one day and I was like, you want to know what? My past has nothing to do with me. The way or who raised me has nothing to do with me. The relationships that were insanely unhealthy for me in the past have nothing to do with the relationships that I'm creating right now in my life. I mean, take it as a lesson. You learned, like, and that's the whole point of life. It's like, if life was easy, we would not be talking right now. You know what I mean? Right. I would be out of a job. Like, I mean, I'm serious. Like all these, like no one would be watching the news, because it's just one of those things where like it is a lesson. Like you have to have life experience, and you have to be grateful for that life experience. And it doesn't matter. And want to know what? I'm happy I was dealt hard cards, because I'm so much more grateful now, because I'm like, you want to know what? I beat all the toxic traits that I was instilled in me at a young age. And I'm like, and I'm constantly growing and working on to trying to be a better mother, trying to be a better friend, trying to be a better girlfriend, trying to be all these things, so I don't have repetitive behavior that is going to continue on into the future. And, and people want change. Change starts with you. If you aren't willing to change and grow as a person, the environment around you is not going to change. Then the environment around that environment is not going to change. Nothing will change unless you change as a person. And having this why me mentality is not going to cut it. And you're not going to be healthy. You're not going to be happy financially, physically, mentally, all of that. Like it's out the window. Like you're never going to have it if you just victimize yourself and like keep saying, well, why me? Because want to know what? You're dealt these cards because you're supposed to learn something. Period. That's it. You're either going to pass the test or you're going to fail.
Exactly, yo. Whenever you're playing poker and the dealer gives you your cards, man, you don't say, yo, can I get a better card so I can win this game? Nah, bro, you got to play those things.
Yeah, you play it the best. You play the game the way your cards were dealt. Like it's how it is. It's out of your control. So you control what you can control.
Exactly, dude. Hey, you crushed it with ending that with the why me, man. I couldn't have said it any better. That was absolutely incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying these episodes, especially even if you're just watching this one and you're gathering some value from what Meredith is saying or what I'm saying or whatever it is that you're gathering from this, put it down in the comments down below. Give us your feedback. Share a story. If you want to reach out to us, we have our contact information in the descriptions. You have her email, you got my email, our social medias are there. So if you want to reach out and just vent, I enjoy listening to everyone's stories. That's how I met Meredith, because she has an amazing story, and I got her on the podcast. I want to talk to her, learn about her, because she has such a great story. And but today we talked about dealing with stressful moments to create positive outcomes, and you killed it with that ending. Jesus, I'm going to rewatch that just to watch that ending, because that was good. But
I'm going to take notes on myself. So I'm going to put it on the whiteboard that's in front of me. Like, okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, we just do that right there. Perfect. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening or tuning in and watching wherever you're watching from. Share it to a friend if you know someone is in need of some positivity or some uplifting. Maybe they're in a low time right now. Share this video out to them. Tag them in here or whatever. As you've seen the banner down below, we got new episodes coming every Friday. So stay tuned for the next ones to come. If you want us to talk about something specific as well, drop it down in the comments down below. We will talk about it because me and Meredith have been through some stuff. We can relate on a lot of things, and it's cool because we have a lot of similarities in just ourselves. But yeah, girl, you trying to say peace out or what?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, peace.
Peace.